So call me crazy, but something tells me I won't be able to get out of debt by selling my artwork. Sharia, who's telling you that? My bank account.
I don't know what's wrong with me, I can't stop. Oh, yeah.
So, I'm just gonna continue making art as if my bills aren't real and as if I'm not about to get evicted, because, you know, what else is there to do? So I'm not really sure at what point delusion becomes reality, but I'm starting to lose hope in that little philosophy. Is that even a philosophy? I started making art 5 years ago, and I just did it just to like learn the skill of painting. That was it. It wasn't nothing serious. And I started posting online around 3 years ago, and because I got such a positive response from posting online, I started being known in my town as an artist, and then from that I got this regular live painting gig. And so I would sit at a bar and paint live for 3 hours. And the attention that I got from that led to me being known as just an actual artist in my town. And then the attention that I got from that got me in my town's newspaper, and then got me the first mural job in my city. So yeah, all those things led to me having art shows, really just becoming more committed to being an artist, because I now had this identity to like live up to. So I started working at markets all the time and selling my artwork, and I just became an artist. Like, none of it was planned from the start. I didn't intend on becoming an artist in this way. It was just one of those things that just sort of happened. It's like you follow this trajectory. I started painting with no intention. The intention came from the hard work that I put into it. And then from the hard work that I put into it, I met people who gave me opportunities, and those opportunities taught me things, and then artist became my identity. But it was from me like putting in the hard work of just learning how to paint. Like, that was my only goal. My goal wasn't riches or anything. It was just learning how to paint. And I'm at this point now where I resonate with the identity of being an artist. Like, that is what I am. If someone asks what I do, I will say that I'm an artist. But it wasn't always like that. Me last year, I wasn't like this. I didn't resonate with that identity yet. And so it's not me being cocky, being like, oh yeah, I'm an artist. It's that I actually am, and it did take hard work for me to get to that point of expressing it. And so the delusional part is, even though I have made money being an artist, like I actually have made money. Last year, I had like $4,000 in art sales, which obviously that's not enough to live off of, but that's a substantial amount of money to make off of a passion, you know? And this year I focused way more on concept art, way more on my emotional well-being and injecting that into my art pieces. And the problem with that is that that doesn't always get you money. These are just some more clips of my artwork so you can get an idea of what my usual work looks like. So it's really colorful, recognizable figures, or even recognizable things. So this is like an orange tree. It was just colorful and fun artwork. Now I'm kind of in a dilemma where I feel like I found my voice as an artist. You know, as of this year, I feel like I found my voice as an artist, but it will not pay off monetarily, mostly because these pieces that I'm working on, they're like authentic to myself right now. They're not that my art before was like cash grab pieces, but they were just more palatable. Like if I paint pomegranates, anyone can buy pomegranates. Like anyone can buy a painting of pomegranates, right? If I paint a random celebrity, anyone would be interested in that. You know, if I have a commission, obviously the person who commissioned me is interested in that. Mural jobs, if someone has a vision, they want me to execute it. You know, it's like things like that are set ways to make money as an artist. But the things that sort of speak to your soul are not always financially rewarding. And since taking on the identity of I am an artist, I've stopped finding joy in creating like cash grab sorts of art pieces. Like I don't find joy in painting celebrities anymore and selling those. So I had to pause it right here because I don't know when I became insufferable. But as I was rewatching all these clips to edit the video together, I realized like, someone should tell her to shut the fuck up. Like, there's nothing wrong with painting celebrities. There's nothing wrong with painting things that will sell. Like, artists need to make money. So, I'm recording this, like this audio, halfway through me rewatching this video for like the third time. So I'm not sure what else I'm gonna say in the video that I might like agree with or not agree with. But just for the sake of putting content out, I'm going to still put this out. And just know that my opinions might change, and I feel like I'm sounding kind of insufferable. But yeah, that's all. My first pieces of artworks that I made that were like part of my self-discovery as an artist were these crushed can paintings, and the crushed can was the first major sale I had for artwork. But it never became consistent. Like people didn't consistently start buying those from me. I made like $700 in those crushed can paintings, and that's from just selling 2. So that was never like a consistent stream of income. It was just kind of a one-off thing. And both of those crushed can paintings I sold last year. So this year, haven't done any. And so with these pieces of artwork, okay, so there's a lot of issues with the artwork that I'm working on now. For one, the size. So I've never sold a painting. I've never sold a painting that's this canvas size before. At least I don't think. Hold on, let me think. Oh, actually I did. I sold a old-fashioned painting that was this size. I'll insert that picture. But again, that wasn't a piece from the heart. That was like a very specific sort of thing that I was painting. These that I'm working on are my heart pieces right now. But yeah, even me selling that one painting that I did that was that size, it was a one-off thing because I was working like a specific sort of event where the buyer showed interest because I was live painting there, and you know, he was able to buy it, but the event that I was part of was part of the appeal. That's something else that I struggle with, is people not being able to understand how your charisma matters when it comes to selling art, and also location. So like you can have good art but be in a bad location and then you won't make money. But you could be in a good location and not sell art because you have a bad personality. So you kind of have to have the good mixture of all in order to make money. So the event that I was at was an old fashioned fest. And so someone bought a painting of my old fashioned. And that was for $500. But had it not been at that event, who knows if it would have sold. It doesn't take away from the quality of the work, but you have to consider those sorts of things. And you consider those sorts of things when it comes to you making choices in your life that are reflective of like your artwork. So last year I decided to cut back on work because I was consistently making money selling art. So I went from working full-time at my job to only working 2 days a week. And those 2 days was just to like cover my supplies regularly. And so I switched to 2 days a week, and I'm still, working markets, I'm selling my artwork, I'm coming off that $500 sale. I was still doing my live painting every week at that bar. And then sometime last year, around this time actually, things just came to a halt. And I suddenly stopped bringing in all of this extra income from my art. And then suddenly the only income I had was from working 2 days a week. And so then I picked up a job at this little coffee truck in town because I'm like, I need to make more money, but I still need my freedom to create art. And so I pick up 2 days a week at this other job, and they basically fire me. Like, I kind of felt like they had created this environment where I just could do nothing right. So we agreed that I would only work 2 days a week, but they had a changing menu every month. And so if I was working 2 days a week, that's 8 shifts. So I would get 1 shift to know what the new menu is, which means I'm not gonna know what's going on. My second shift, I'm able to okay, I know what the menu is, I can do the job, but then I wouldn't work for a week. So then the next week will come, I'd forgot everything, because when you're working sporadically like that, it's hard to keep up with consistency if this isn't a job the back of your hand. So my first job that I went to 2 days a week with, I knew that job like the back of my hand. I had worked there for 2 years full time already. So having a week-long break in between my shifts didn't do anything as far as my work went. But at this new job, it didn't make any sense. It was terrible for work, and also the customers were really accustomed to knowing who the baristas were. So if the customers came through the drive-thru and saw me, a new face, they weren't as nice to me. And then it would be a clear difference in my treatment versus the other girls' treatments. And it just became so weird. And then it got to a point where they stopped scheduling me 2 days, they only scheduled me 1 day a week. So it got even worse because, again, I don't know this job like the back of my hand. I only work 1 day a week, so I'm trying to go in and do a good job, but they weren't understanding if I made understandable mistakes. They weren't understanding of those things. And in the moment when the job kind of got chaotic, because this is a coffee shop job, so a huge line of people. In those moments where it requires the employees to kind of just come together and work together, the people who I was working with, they would get very upset and just kind of be mean to me in those sorts of moments because they were rushing to get things done, and I couldn't really help because it wasn't a good environment. And so I was working 2 days at my normal job, 2 days there, then it got cut to 1 day, and then it got cut to they didn't schedule me for an entire month. And so then after that I was like, all right, you guys are trying to push me out, so I just quit. And so then I lost that little extra income, and then I started being late on my rent and on my other bills. I suddenly couldn't pay for my subscriptions, and I was like, what's going on? I don't feel like my life has changed. And then I finally put the puzzle pieces together, and I was like, oh, it's because these passion art projects aren't making any money. And so now I'm in this spot where I'm like, well, what's a girl to do? Because I obviously can still paint sellable things, but painting those things don't make me feel like an artist. Like, I don't feel happy doing that. And so I'm in a little bit of a predicament right now because it feels like all of my accounts have like gone negative in a way that I cannot fix because I'm just actually not bringing in as much money as I was before. And so that brings up the question of, can my artwork get me out of debt? Somewhere along the line last year, I became obsessed with watching Andy Warhol and Basquiat documentaries, and Keith Haring, and just everyone who was popular around the 70s and 80s, all the artists. And I feel like I became a little bit more delusional than what I usually am. Like, usually my delusions are rooted in something real that I'm doing, right? So like, if I say that I'm an artist, then that seems delusional, but I'm painting every day and actually producing artwork and selling artwork, it's like, that's not really delusional. So when I got through this phase of like watching these documentaries, also the documentary Exit Through the Gift Shop, I really just got inspired by seeing all of these artists sort of get together and create artwork and frankly like become famous doing it. I really got obsessed with watching those things. And so the delusion came in when I started thinking, oh, this can happen to me in my little small town. It can't happen in my little small town. And it's like, not only can it not happen here, but it like just absolutely won't happen. Unless I have some money to throw some events. Which again, I don't have. So it brings me back to, yeah, that really can't happen. So I guess this video is just kind of about, don't quit your job to do art unless you are actually fully committed. Because I got fully committed to just making money. I didn't get fully committed to the formula needed to make the art that would make the money. I think that's where my mindset kind of shifted. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, the formula to making money, making art, was that I was painting things that weren't like, I keep saying cash grab because that's like the only word I can think of. Like, it's not a cash grab, but it's just things that will for sure sell. So like, I wasn't fully committed to taking commissions or painting celebrities. I was just kind of going through my phases of learning, and whatever people bought or whatever people liked from me, those were the things that I would try to paint. And so since I wasn't really committed to that mindset of, okay, I am painting things for people to like and buy, I wasn't fully committed to that mindset because I was just learning, frankly. But some people learn in a way that's appealing to others. So like, there are artists who sell their study works, like all these fruit baskets, and there's a guy who sells like, they're just still lifes. You know, those are like studies, but also they could be a little serious, but mostly people are doing still lifes for studies. Like there are people who sell those. I just wasn't committed to doing still lifes and stuff like that. It was just something that it was something that was necessary to develop an art style and to develop my interest. I don't know if this brush is right for this lettering. And also, yeah, I keep saying I was making money, but I just told you that all I made was $4,000 on art sales. So it's like, it's not even that that was like so much money. It's just that making any amount of money seemed like a miracle to me. And so, yeah, I got committed to the money that I was making, but not committed to a set formula. Which you'll notice online, like if you follow any artists on Instagram, heck, if you even follow me on Instagram, my page is all over the place. Like I'm not doing anything consistently. I just kind of paint. Because that's how I am as a person. I just paint what I like. It's no, you don't think, okay, I'm going to Sharia's page because I want to see this specifically. I'm like floating in the wind, you know? The technical skill of painting, I feel like I've mastered, but as far as what subjects I choose, it was kind of always in flux. And my Instagram my Instagram shows that. But if you look at any other artist's Instagram, like anyone who has like 100,000 followers, or 60K or 50K, you'll see that they're painting the same things every single time. And it's that consistency that grows an audience. And it's like, I'm not a consistent artist as far as my subjects go because I don't want to be put in a box. I kind of just want to be a creative in general. And there are some people who get that, and there are some people who respect that. It's mainly other artists though. Like other artists respect the creative mind and like the creative journey. As far as being, well, what's that? As far as being a buyer, buyers just kind of want, you know, like if they like pomegranates, they want to know that they can buy pomegranates from you. I keep saying pomegranates because I like pomegranates, and that was the last unheart piece that I've painted. So, I was talking about having a consistent art style and how that draws people in. So yeah, like you should try it. Like look up like artist tags or acrylic painter tags on Instagram, and you'll just see that like the people who have a lot of followers are just doing the same thing. And I think that's actually what the formula, well, it is the formula. I kind of already said that in this video. So the formula to making art as an artist is to, one, be a good painter, or be a good artist in general, and then make the same thing over and over and over again, because that's what people will like you for. And yeah, I'm trying really hard to be just a creative mind in general, because it's like painting isn't even the only thing that I'm interested in. Like you look at my page, I have like little short films that I've created, and they don't have to be good. The point is that I just enjoy creating. Like that's what I like to do. Like I want to be a writer, I want to be an artist, I want to be good at these things that I enjoy. Like anything that I consume from someone else, I want to also be able to contribute. You listen to the song, it's clearly like a hip hop rap song. Like yes, he's singing, but that's not the main, it's one of the main draws, but it's like it's rap, it's hip hop. And he made a statement saying that like he doesn't want to be known as a hip hop artist or something like that. But that's all that he's ever put out, and so it caused like this outrage because it's like everyone keeps trying to use hip hop and like black culture specifically for its draw, and then once they get the crowd, they abandon it. But it's like, I don't know if this is like human nature sort of thing, but people want sameness. Maybe it's just America, I don't know. But people want things to be the same. They want you to stay the same, they want you in a box, they want to be able to understand you. And I like just cringe at that. There's no part of me that wants to be in someone's box, you know? Except for the literal boxes that I'm in all the time because of society, you know. But you know what I mean. Like, I want to have a strong sense of self and that be expressed through all the avenues I choose to take. So if I choose to like want to make films, my self is still expressed through that. If I choose to only paint, it's still like me, you know? And also, as far as making money goes for my artwork, one of the big things that had me convinced that like it would happen to me on a grand scale was because I had videos that were going viral on Instagram. The only thing helpful as far as your art career goes is just making art and making a lot of it. That's literally what you have to do. In order to find your voice being an artist, you have to make art. That's it. There's nothing that you can extract from someone else to help you. You can obviously become inspired by other people and like see what they're doing and want to try it out, but no one can give you that artist feeling that you have in your heart but you. Like, no one can do that but you. And so, yeah, you do that by creating art. Like, you have to create a lot. My studio's filled to the brim with artwork, but it's me finding myself and finding my style to a point where I am happy displaying what I have, and it's not like a fake happiness. Like, obviously me painting Biggie Smalls is like, you know, that's like an achievement. You could see the similarities, like painting things like that realistically, that's always cool, but it doesn't give you a feeling in your chest of I belong in the art realm. It's like factory work.